Well, my name is Mark Kimber. I'd like to welcome you all to the Riverside Business Chamber's virtual Business After Hours event for July 2020. The theme of tonight is Improve Your Business with Google, and we're using the Google Meet program. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all our members and guests, and a special thanks to our support partners, City of Ryde, BusyNet, and Max My Profit Ryde, and of course to our patron member, ServeCorp. I'd also like to acknowledge our Level 1 members, Achieve Australia, New Horizons, North Ryde RSL, Optus, The Ranch, and Royal Rehab. In these challenging and fast-changing times, I invite all members to regularly check out our website for upcoming events, a video copy of tonight's event, including links to all the presentations, as well as for helpful content to assist members in maximising your online presence. Our next Business After Hours will be on the 3rd of August 2020, and it'll be a hybrid event from the incubator Macquarie Uni with an entrepreneurs theme. Please keep an eye out on our website for further details. In respect to tonight's virtual meetings, just a couple of quick things. I'd like all to ask participants to ensure their microphones are muted unless they are invited to speak. And I'd like to point out that Google Meet has a chat function which will enable you to ask questions, which will be of importance later on in the presentation. I would now like to introduce tonight's host, Mr. Andrew Hill, our Vice President of the Riverside Business Chamber. Over to you, Andrew.
Hello, it's Andrew Hill, Vice President of Riverside Business Chamber. Tony Abu's not with us tonight, but I am here to share some business ideas with Google and how some of these free concepts can help your business or improve where you are. So our talk tonight, we actually did this as a workshop over at Eastwood, and we linked with all the councils and the chambers together as an initiative to share and work on your business, not in your business, and be seen on the screen because we had a little bit of time on our hands with COVID. So some of the things we're talking about, you can easily download, and you can put this on your mobile or on your desktop, and there's a whole lot of concepts there to actually help your business. So I definitely recommend those things because they are free and they will support and you'll get noticed a lot better. So one of the free programs is called Google My Business, and it's really nice. Just go on and check and see where you're up to, and if you're not getting a great presence on the screen, you can claim your business name. You'll be receiving an email from Google, and once you get that, you can claim it online, which allows you to then populate it with a free website with photos. And on the right hand side of this list, you can see there's a whole step-by-step, and there's also a hyperlink. So if you're not sure what to do, you can go to the hyperlink, or you can ring myself and I can show you how to do that quite easily. There is so much within Google My Business, and probably some of the key things are your photos. So you can get on there and actually share your photos. You can do chat services within your business. There's keywords so that people can come straight through and find your business. It can link in with reviews so people are actually talking to you. You can collect information from your clients and even put up new events. One of the best ones is with COVID, you might have some controlled times and you're not open, so you can actually use that to help you. One of the next programs is Google Maps, which is an amazing platform which shows where you are, shows you how to get one person to find your business, and you can actually turn on the voice activation so that they can actually help you get there. You can find parking in a particular area. There's so many things with this, and it's such a useful resource in the hands and shared everywhere. Once again, there's a hyperlink down the bottom that can help you set up your own system, and it's always good to check on how your customers would see you. With Google Maps, you can do many different things. One of the best ones is to work out when there's traffic. So you can actually go around and find a different route to get to your destination. Sometimes, especially in Ryde, we had a ride-in-ride policy with our cycling routes. It was just a good way to use maps, and also you can find out, like food safaris, you can work out what's the local store, and even go into the store and have a look, as you'll see with some of the other services that Google offers. One of the things for myself, I'm known as a Google guide at the top level, and I get 8 million hits on my photos. And that is something that I've just populated with many photos of the events and things that we do. And we actually come up very high on the rankings, and it's something that we can do as a small business to actually be seen by many people in the community. One of the last bits of information is a new program called Primer, and it's a best practice of small business all on your phone. You could be sitting in the train and getting great ideas. And it's just something that would help small business access to great ideas, and that you might be able to apply for your particular business. So thanks for listening.
Well, you're going to go on Google and search for something there. So I'm going to show you now what actually happens when you do a search and why that matters. So let me share the screen with you. So let's say I'm currently in Eastwood and I need to look for a supermarket. So this is the search results that come up, and you can see Woolworths is there. But if you can all of you see the screen? Okay, that's good. So this top section here, whether you realize it or not, that's Google Maps. And it's actually found all of the businesses, the supermarkets that is in the area close by to me. If you look at some of these, all these they probably do have some form of online presence. They have content marketing. They have Google AdWords going out there. But this here is turning up whether or not they're going to do anything in that space. Sakura Supermarket, New Hannah Market. These are just small little shops that are on Grove Street. So I'll show you another example. Let's look for mechanics. So again, you have an ad. So Lube Mobile up here, they've paid for that to turn up. But again, this is Google Maps that you're looking at. And so without you actually realizing it, you are already using Google Maps as a search. So you can see that Google is returning results very close to the top of the page of the businesses that meet your searches. And this content here is really heavily optimized for the proximity of where that search happens. So the benefit to small and medium-sized businesses is that the really large companies with big budgets for marketing, they can't crowd you out in this sort of an area, because this is heavily optimized towards proximity. Let me bring you back to the slide deck.
And one of your specialties, John, is Streetview as well?
Yes. So Streetview and all of that, it actually gives you a better ranking. But really what I really wanted to talk about is this is an overall thing that we need to be doing. So, and it would be good for all of you actually to go on Google after this and just do a search for the type of business that you run and see how you show up and whether or not you are showing up. So I've already gone through that. So let's talk about the benefits of Google Street View. And this is really Google Street View is where we're looking at a 360 virtual tour of your business. So what are some of the benefits? Well, one of it is that it builds trust. And I think we all agree that it is very necessary today that we build trust with our clients, because I know many times I've searched for businesses that looked great online. They had a great website, beautiful pictures, but really they were just operating it out of the garage. And not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, I'm operating out of home right now, but very often there are a lot of businesses that project a really big image without actually, in that understanding that if I project a big image, I automatically gain credibility. So Google Street View really cuts through a lot of that. If you have a premises, it allows your client to actually go into your premises and have a look around. So I'm going to show you an example of a business that does that and sort of show you what Google Street View would look like. So this will probably take a little bit of time before it shows up because it's
actually that's a good view.
Okay. So this is a cheese shop, and a potential client that's researching this, they could come in, look around. It's a very small place, and they can go outside and look around. So that's Google Street View. I mean, they can literally walk down the street, walk into a shop, and look around without actually going there.
And it gets higher hits on
Yes.
Google. Yes.
Yes, it does. So I'll show you another example. Sorry. You can navigate so many different windows. So here's an example that's closer to home that I found that has, so this is the Eastwood Club at Eastwood. And again, a user can go through, look around. You can see Andrew doing a presentation. So, having all these images, having all these, anytime you see this little, I don't know, arrow that's turned on itself, that's a 360-degree view. And it allows the user to scroll and look around. Okay, so these are just examples of businesses that are using it. And let me get back to this. So, I know that as a consumer that nowadays when I am looking to purchase something or to engage in a service, I do a lot of research. I'm old enough now to remember the days when searching for a business meant opening the yellow pages and then having to make a trip and visit that business. Well, now we have the ability to research businesses without even leaving our sofa. We can look into their premises if they have a 360 view. We can read reviews. We can read about the information on the businesses. And more customers are starting to research before making a buying decision. And really, lastly, it improves the connection with your customers. And essentially what this means is that the more time your customer spends on your site consuming information, whether it's in the form of videos, photos, or a 360 video tour, it builds that subconscious connection between you and the business, and it sort of sticks in your mind. I mean, if you looked at how I was scrolling through the 360 virtual tours, I mean, there are a lot of reports out there saying that it increases engagement and increases the time people spend on the website. It does, because it's just there's more things for them to do, and they can dictate for themselves what they want to look at and how they want to engage with the content they're putting out there. So really, that's all I've got to.
John, that is excellent. And what's good is on the slide is your contact details, your website, your phone number, and people can contact you if they would like to do Street View with John. Now our next speaker is Stefan. So we're looking forward to hearing about all the Google magic that goes on. Over to you, Stefan.
Thank you, Andrew. Hi, everyone. How's it going?
Very well.
Now I've sort of, hey Ivan, I'm going to share my screen pretty much straight away. Let's see how we go. There we go. What I've done is I've taken a PowerPoint, put it into PDF, and I'm got it in Acrobat. So hopefully you'll be able to see it. Can you see it? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Coming through.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Good. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to do a bit. This is obviously SEO, search engine optimization, is a huge topic. You know, if you Google it, you'll just find millions of articles and blogs and everything. So I'm just going to take a very high level look at a few aspects. They're more like concepts and tools to think about, and because every business is different, so you know things are going to apply to people in different ways. So I'm just going to go through the sort of things that we work with here at our company, and maybe you'll get a bit from it. So this is here we go. Let's see next thing. Okay, this is me. Most of you know me, I think, already. I've been doing SEO since well, pretty much for 20 years, and back in the day it was a lot easier than it is now. It's become extremely sophisticated, extremely complicated because of the algorithms getting better and better. But back in the old days, you just put lots and lots of keywords in, and Google would go, oh, you got lots of keywords, up you go. So we'd rank pretty much all our clients on page one. But now it's very, very much a holistic approach. Just a little thing about Google, 22 years old now, just recently entered the ranks of the $1 trillion company. Next to Apple, Amazon, I think Facebook maybe, and a couple of dodgy, dodgy oil companies, I think. But yeah, so 90% of its revenue comes from its ads, which are only really a tiny amount of the traffic, because most of the traffic on Google is free. Everyone's just searching and finding and going everywhere. But this $1 trillion valuation just comes from people from the adverts. And Google is now pretty much the only search engine. There's Bing and stuff, but really, if you're doing everything for Google, you'll probably find you're doing okay for other searches. By the way, if you've got any questions, feel free to yell out. They started with their PageRank algorithm, which was essentially from keywords, but it's now this massive AI machine learning dynamic. It's really a super brain that it's just processing everything all the time. So even every search is different based on who you are, where you are, what you searched for previously, just the kinds of words you type in. It's just getting really quite sophisticated. So as small businesses, we have to try and understand it and then do whatever we can. We don't have the resources of the big companies that spend literally millions of dollars a month just doing this stuff. And we try to compete with them sometimes. So we have to just try and understand what's going on and do the best we can. These days, Google search results cover so many different things. If you can see that slide, all the different types of there's plenty of other types of results as well, like videos and images and scholarly articles. But on a search, this was a search for Beirut, and it comes up with just so many things. And right at the bottom, 01 is an organic result. But obviously that's different for every search you do. Google will deliver different content, and our job is to try and control that somewhat so that we come up when people are looking. There's, it's not just a search engine. It's not just people looking for something. There's 4 main types of search intent. People are looking for information. They're looking to go somewhere, navigate to a page, or go somewhere in the real world. They're looking to buy something, or they're possibly looking to just look at what other people are doing, check out their competition, just scope out what's going on out there. So just keep with that in mind. That helps sometimes determine what content you're website's going to be about. Like if you've got a particular business that informational searches are going to benefit from, then you tailor your site more towards that. If you're, so it's really understanding the different intent of the searcher and creating the content suitable for that. And the three big questions are: what is the purpose of your site? What are you trying to get users to do when they get there? And who are they, basically? So here's a little this is from Moz.com, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you go from the bottom up, this is just like from the essentials of SEO up to the real fine-tuned stuff. Like if you look at the very top there, the snippets and schema markups and things, that's more like for the types of search results that in that previous screen, where you're sort of feeding Google all this data that it needs to put you in amongst those other type of results. But from the bottom, you've got to have your site's got to be readable by the search engine, by the spider. That's just a bottom line thing. If it can't see your site, you won't appear. And it goes up through there. The content's got to be good. You've got to answer the question, or you've got to be what they're looking for. Next step up, you've got to be the keywords and the right sort of content that Google's going to think, yes, you're the right one for that particular search. And then up it goes there through user experience, fast loading, things that people might want to share or take a snippet of, and that kind of thing. And then the second top one, because that's what people see when they actually type in a search, they'll get the name, the link name, and the description. And so those things, if they're captivating, if they're on point with what people are looking for, then that makes a big difference. This is things have changed a bit in the old days. They used to talk about the sales funnel: awareness, discovery, get a quote, buy, and then if you like it, you become a bit of a fan of the company. Now it's becoming much more of a loop, because customers aren't just getting targeted, and it's not a one-way thing anymore. Customers are doing their research. They've got their initial consideration. I want to get something. They don't just go and buy whatever they found. They usually look around. They get their own information, do their research, etc. But if they buy and you follow up and the experience is good and everything, then they become more loyal, and they start sharing. I just bought this and everything else. So the journey and how they actually get to you is much more important than it used to be. It used to be just a numbers game. It's not anymore. It's an experience, really. One concept that's quite big at the moment is the idea of personas. You try it for any business. Who is my customer, or who are a few different types of customers that I'm targeting? And if you can spend a bit of time on that, you'll start to gear your content and gear your messaging to them. So you might use words that appeal to them because you've sort of understood them a bit, like they've got particular pain points, or they're a particular type of person, or they're aspirational, those types of things. So we spend a bit of time looking at that, and creating a theoretical customer, and then try to work out who they are, and then you can gear your content towards it. Customers now, content's everywhere. They're looking at blogs, they're shopping, they're looking at 360-degree Google Maps, and they're going to wine tastings. It's just, everyone's everywhere basically, and our job is to try and be in all these different locations as much as we can. That's a part of it. This SEO process has even changed. In the old days, on the left there, it's all about keywords and links, and then more keywords, and then looking at the traffic, and then more keywords like this. Now it's the first step is to try and identify the opportunities, try and identify what you're trying to achieve, and then develop a content strategy for that, and then do all the technical stuff, build the pages, build the website, create the links, all those sorts of things, then get out on the social and all that, and then measure it, and then see how you went, and then improve it. So it's the whole process of SEO has definitely changed in response to the sophistication of the algorithms. So I'm just going to quickly go through the Google tools that are available. There's a whole bunch of them. There's a lot more than this, but these are the main ones that we use. Analytics, of course, tells you how your site's performing, the number of users, sessions, how long they're spending on the site, and these are all the things that you try and improve with your activity, with your SEO activity, and you're always referring back to this to see, you know, did we go up this month? We did a campaign. Did we see a spike? All that kind of thing. That's actually a week there. So they do very well on a Monday by the looks of things. And then they, you know, people, I know after these people do insulation. So I think they spend all weekend at home feeling like, you know, it's pretty cold or something. So Monday they start Googling Insulvac. Google, so that's analytics. Then we got Google Search Console. This tool is all about the technical and the specifications of a site to make sure that you're ticking all the boxes for usability, visibility, security, all of those kinds of, the URL you're using is the one you want people to find. There's a whole lot of stuff around that Google Search Console. Page speed, Google's quite big on fast loading websites, so they provide a tool to measure the speed of your site, and then they give you tips on how to improve it. So run the test, and then do whatever the recommendations are to fix it. And then this is very important, the keyword planner. It's a Google ad tool, but you can just use it anyway. You can just log in and use it. You don't have to pay for ads to use it, but that will give you, there's two sides of the keyword planner. One is to suggest keywords, and one is to predict and forecast the impact of a campaign. So right here they say if you spend $400, you'll get 170 clicks, and you know, you'll be average position 2.7 in the ads. Yes. So that way you can decide, okay, I'm willing to spend that. Out of 170 people, will I get a bit of business from it? Maybe. Let's give it a go. So that's sort of what they do there. The other side of the keyword planner is to offer lots of suggestions for all different phrases and keywords that you might want to use in your site, or target people with headings and things. And they tell you how many people are searching for it, whether it's a very competitive word, and where you might appear if you did the ads. And if you can see this one, you probably can't see, but $245 a click is what people are prepared to pay for. What Westpac's paying, they're prepared to pay $245 for one click in the search engine. So there you go. Google My Business, that's what the other guys spoke about. That's all there, and lots of tools there about, it's all the information about your business and reviews and everything. So that's very worth getting into. Tag Manager is another one where you can actually put tags in your website to track the performance of the site. So on this one, did the ad word convert into an inquiry? You know, did someone click an email link? Did someone submit a form? So all these tags you put through, you set them up, you put them on your site, and then analytics tracks them with specific goals. Like, I'm going to do a campaign. I want people to fill out a form. Okay, let's measure that. So Tag Manager is very, very important with that. AdWords, of course, that's the paid thing. Create a campaign and you know, choose the keywords, and that's that's a 400-hour conversation. So and then
you would like people to, like, there's a lot of content here. Naturally, they would ring you on Cyrius Media, and you'll do a lot of these things for them.
Oh, of course. Look, this stuff is like, the thing is, you can do it all yourself,
yep.
but generally it's, you know, I don't even like to do it myself. I pay people to do it because there's so much to it, but it's more about knowing the concepts and then what's appropriate for you. Like, you may not need to do any AdWords because you've got quite a nice business and you get found on the maps for free, you know. So it's what I'm doing is really covering all the different aspects. But yes, if you've got a problem or you've got a question, give me a call. Merchant Center is another one where if you've got an online store, you can feed those products through to the Google Shopping, and that's another whole system. But it's a great tool. We got a client that's doing very well on there. So it drives people from a search for a product, a specific product, straight back to your website to buy it, and that's really good. And then there's YouTube as well, which is another Google Alphabet asset, and that does a lot of things there. So yeah, you can use that for content and driving traffic. This is a third-party tool as well. It does a lot of SEO work in harmony with Google, and there's measurements and campaigns and competitor analysis, and there's all sorts of things going on there. And even Facebook has a sort of an objective, like a goal creator and a campaign creator, and you can decide, do I want brand awareness, do I want reach, do I want more traffic, do I want lead generation? And then Facebook will, you know, it's got similar types of things, not as evolved and not as sophisticated as Google, but because of that, it's could be cost effective for some people, and their audience might be on Facebook.
Great.
Another little thing, the long tail, we've probably heard of that. Top keywords, very expensive, very hard to rank for with SEO, but more, you know, the less common ones is 70% of the traffic. So you can actually target things quite well by going for smaller keywords. An example is, you know, someone trying to sell wine glasses. You look at the search volume, cheap wine glasses. Oh, wow, yeah, I want to optimize my site for cheap wine glasses, but it's much more difficult to, because it's very competitive. Whereas wholesale wine glasses, much less difficult, still a substantial number of searches. So that's all about finding those phrases and searches that suit your business that may not be as heavily targeted by other businesses, and then you can get the advantage of that. And then creating landing pages, that's one of the main things of SEO now. If people have found what they're looking for in Google, they'll click on the link, and then they've got to find your site and see that what they're finding is what they were looking for, and contact you and all of that. And Google also will index these pages, so you get more ranking for that as well.
Excellent.
Yeah. So that's the process again.
Now, I'm not going to give questions. I'm going to go straight on to another one of our members, Geoff Anderson, who uses G Suite. But if we can, a short, sharp way of using those tools, how does it benefit yours? Thanks, Stefan.
No worries.
Hello, good evening, and I'm going to try and share my screen too. Let me...
We've got about 5 minutes, and then also Luke Magee on, and he's got also some times.
Let me see. No, I want... Wait. Present your entire screen. I want to present... that's the one I want to do.
And then you have to touch the slide, and then it'll present.
I've got to present... Wait, it's got to go...
Now, what I'm on...
There we go. I'll share that, and then I'll do that. So hopefully you've now seen a G Suite graphic with all the different products are there. So yeah, when Andrew asked me to talk about this, I went, yeah, sure, absolutely, because this is the stuff I use every day. It's very much part of my ecosystem here at Sonic Site. I've got an Android phone even. As I say this, though, I'm using a Mac. Yeah, look, firstly, I use Gmail, but I use the paid version of it. So it's Google Mail. So it all comes as a Sonic Site branded product. So I'll just talk about these ones on the left to start with. And what I love about Gmail or Google Mail is the way it sorts all my mail for me. So it's people complain about the spam they get or whatnot, and I go, I don't know what you're talking about, because that already gets sorted. It goes into these other folders there. So you can see I've got, you know, your primary stuff, which is the stuff that's directed straight to me. Then you've got social media stuff. Then you've got promotions and updates and forums and stuff. So all of this stuff already goes into its own little envelopes, own little pockets. It makes it really easy to sort it out. So I love that. It makes it super easy. And of course, all of these Google products, these G Suite stuff, synchronize on your phone and on other computers. So I've got different edit suites here in the office. I jump to different computers and pick up exactly where I left off from. So I can get distracted on my Gmail wherever I am. It's great. Then, of course, you've got the Meet, which we're on now. Chat, I haven't used Chat. We've got a small team here, so I don't tend to be messaging people on that. So I might have a look at that. Calendar is great. I use that all the time, every day. Again, synchronizes on my phone, makes it really easy. You can put, I use Calendar by putting the addresses of the locations where I'm going to have meetings, and then I can, you know, click on that and it opens up in maps when I'm driving along, so I can navigate to exactly where I need to get to. And Google Drive is really a big part of our infrastructure as well. So that's where I store a whole lot of content, and it's also really handy for me when clients have to send me videos and stuff. They can upload them to a folder I've created or to one they've created and can upload the content there. And what's really clever about all this, so you see there you've got, you know, My Drive, you've got Shared Drive as well, or Shared with Me. That's where you can find stuff that people have shared with you. But you can also reallocate what folder it's in at your end. So they may have it in a particular folder at their end, but you can decide, no, that's going to go into current projects, this client name, or whatever it might be, and you can move it. So you can move all your folders around and have them set up. And it's really easy, really good to locate stuff as you go along. So I'm just checking I'm saying everything I want to talk about there, but that, yeah, so that's great. So let's now talk about these other this other section here. Now this is the column about creating your own content. So this is where you're creating Word files, you're creating spreadsheets, presentations, forms, or websites. And once again, this is brilliant. This is all stored up in the cloud. And what's great about this, the functionality of this is as good as, you know, Word or Pages in Mac or Excel or PowerPoint. You know, it's basically just as good as. But what's really great is the collaborative opportunities you have with it. So people can jump on it and they can add to it at the same time. It's a bit different to something like Dropbox, where people, you know, can upload something and other people can access it, but you've got to download it then you make your changes and you upload it again. In here, it's all happening in the cloud. You can all contribute, you can make changes. It's great for teams, it's great for projects or committees that are working together. But it's great too if you just want to have access to your stuff wherever you are. As I say, I work in different offices, and so I'll store all of my, I do this in Google Drive, I'll store all my clients' artwork, all their logos and stuff in folders there, so I can find it in whatever suite I'm in at the time. It's all there, it's all consistent. So this is really handy, having the forms and stuff. So forms are great for doing surveys, better than SurveyMonkey, which will, you know, free version of that will limit you to 10 questions. You can add much more sophisticated forms there, and the answers are all then collated into a Google Sheet document afterwards. So when I was doing those webinars for the City of Ryde, I'd have a survey at the end of it on Google Forms, people would answer those, and then bang, it gets populated in the Google spreadsheet, which made it really easy. I don't use sites very much. I have played with it, but I tend to use WordPress. So, you know, if you want to have a play with it, all of these things are really simple and easy to use. So yeah, that's really great. I love those documents and sheets because of the fact that you can save them in the cloud, you can access them in the cloud, and you can edit them in the cloud and contribute to them. So that makes it really easy. Third stuff here, I don't use much of this stuff here except for Keep. So that's a notes app. So once again, that can form part of your Google infrastructure. It works on your phone. It actually becomes part of a column on the side of my calendar sheet when I'm page when I'm looking at that. I also use another one, Task, which populates there as well. Also, with all this stuff, if you're using Google Chrome, there's a whole lot of extensions you can add into a whole lot of stuff. So it makes Google Chrome a lot more functionality as well. So I think that's my quick summary there. If anybody's got time for that.
Look, people can also contact you, and you've given us a good insight into how you use it. And when we get to our next face-to-face, we can share these concepts. And
Sure.
thank you very much. And now I'd like to pass on to Luke Magee from Chill IT for some security ideas. Are you there, Luke? Now, Luke, just, here we go. He's joined. No, he was there. He's back.
Yeah,
Are you
back.
there, Luke?
Yeah, I'm here.
All
I
right.
was just about to say the technology's been working quite well until then.
I was just about to talk about your company without you there. There we go. All right, you helped me. Over to you.
All right, so I'm going to share the screen, everybody, and I should get a PowerPoint up, and I'll get out of email so people can stop emailing me. So give me 2 seconds. Is that working? Have I got success?
We can see it. Yes.
All right, so I'll quickly talk about just some cybersecurity principles, not related to Google necessarily, but relevant to everybody. So, and I'll just take a few minutes. You should find it a little bit interesting. It's been in the press a lot, especially with everybody working from home, all those increased risks. Everyone might remember in the old days it was always about a kid in the bedroom or in the garage hacking into your systems, but it's moved on since then. So really the big operators at the moment are organised crime. And I found this interesting slide which shows how it steps through. You can see where we're on the right-hand side with organised crime, who are really making a big business out of it. And last week, if you were paying attention to the Prime Minister, there was a lot of talk about an unnamed state hacker. And you see on this slide, they're into it big time with unlimited budgets is the big feature of their abilities. But organised crime is the guys who are making all the money at the moment. So what can we do about it? What can you do about it? The Aussies do have a department in the government, the Cyber Security Centre, and they put out manuals and manuals of advice on what you can do. But if you can't do it all, and everybody can't, it kind of boils down to, they've boiled it down to 8 essential activities that you should do just to keep yourself safe. So if you can only do a few, do these 8. So I'm just going to touch on these 8 quickly, and you might recognise them, but you'll know them off by heart at the end of this. All right, so application whitelisting. What that means, blacklisting means having a list of things that can't run on your computer, but because there's millions and millions of programs out there, that's impossible, and it grows and changes. Whitelisting means you identify the 5 or 6 programs that you run, and you authorize those programs to run on your computers and nothing else. So when you do get infected with malicious code and programs, the computer does not have the authority to run it. All right, that's whitelisting. The second point they put out is disable or manage the macros that run. Everyone would see recently, Microsoft turned them off by default. When I say recently, years ago, if you open a Word document, a macro is something that runs automatically once you open a document, and it might run off and grab some data and update some cells and fix a table, but that's actually running on your computer. So bad guys, they'll insert bad macros into Word documents. So you might get an email, you might open an Excel spreadsheet, and it runs this bad macro, infects your machine. So turn off macros by default and be aware of what they do. Patch applications. Patching means running all the latest updates that the vendors put out. So when Adobe put out a new update, you install it. When Java put out a new update, you install it. You just continually make sure everything is up to date. User application hardening. That means understanding what you're running and turning on the features that make it more secure. All of these, look, I'll send these slides around, but you can follow me up with questions and further details later. Restrict admin privileges. That means when you log on, do not log on as the administrator and work and do your daily activity as the administrator. It's not a power trip thing. It's the administrator has the ability to run the nasty programs. Affected, you're logged on as administrator, the program can run. If you're logged on as just general Joe blogs without administrator privileges, it stops. You have a chance of preventing the bad program from running. But if you're logged on as administrator, full access to everything. Multi-factor authentication, everyone would have this, would be familiar with this nowadays, just means more than just your password. So whether you've got a token or a text message or a little code, it's using two mechanisms to access your systems. Patch operating systems, which is the same, similar to the patch the applications, but that's operating systems is your Windows, is your Android, is your Apple operating systems. Whenever you're prompted for an update, let it apply. Now, mostly it happens automatically these days, but some people may not have that turned on, but always agree and always patch your operating system. And the last one is just daily backups. So backups are all about having, if it all goes wrong, have something you can go back to. In the old days, people would back up just the data. It's become more and more common to back up everything, take an image of your whole machine, just makes it easier to restore. So, and keep your backup
not just in the cloud.
Drive plugged into your server or your PC and leave it plugged in all the time, because if it's plugged in, it can get infected. Your backups can become meaningless. Keep them somewhere else. So keep them in the cloud, keep them on another media, but don't have them plugged in. All right, there are the 8. So if you can only do 8 things, think about these 8. There they all are. They might sound complicated, but they're going to help you. All right.
And people should take a screenshot, because your number and everything's there, so they can contact you and actually help find out more.
Look, and I'll send this around, absolutely. So
excellent.
Happy to take questions.
Yep. Okay. Now, what we might do is we'll get questions through people contacting you direct. We're right on time, so that is amazing that we're right on time, but excellent. Now, I'm going to pass over to a gentleman over in Singapore. So it's to show you how Google Meet can access international businesses, and this is something to sort of open up your eyes. There was a few of us who were heading to Singapore Grand Prix in September, but due to coronavirus, it actually was cancelled. But he's with us tonight. Chris Mullins is from Singapore. He's a tennis coach. He has the prime location in Singapore where the F1 cars drive under his tennis court. And we were hosting a business meet there. Now, Chris, are you online at the moment?
Yes, Andrew. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, and I'd love you to share with us your special announcement. We were going to do this live, but over to you straight away.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Thanks for inviting me, Andrew. It's great to talk to you again. I think it was in April, early April, we talked last time, on the 6th of April. Unfortunately, because of the coronavirus, we couldn't run the Formula One event that we were going to do. But one of the things that we were looking at doing from that was expanding on what I've been doing here for 20 years. So I'm from Australia, obviously from Victoria, lived in New South Wales for a while. And I've been running a sports management company called Mind, Body and Passion in the middle of the CBD, right next to the financial centre for 20 years. So we're surrounded by a number of hotels and the main convention centres, and of course our interactions have been global for 20 years. I suppose one of the things I did want to try and get across is I've had a few people working for me, but my background wasn't just the tennis coaching. I was a senior manager at one of the government departments as a young guy over in the Water Commission. So I went from Victoria to New South Wales, and then decided to live on a farm for a while and do sports coaching. I thought that was the calling I wanted to follow. So when I came to Singapore, I followed that up again, and I saw a real link between the businesses and the sports, and that link's got stronger globally. There is a definite link, and with education as well. So the China government invited me over to do a presentation to them with their education system some years ago regarding what they're trying to do with improving interactions globally with through business, and they thought the education system is a good place to link. And sports specifically can help the education system by adding the emotional learning that you get through sports. So we've been trying to formalize that platform with them for a number of years. I suppose just quick, get to the chase. I employed a guy from Shanghai many years ago who has his master's in business and was linked with what they were doing over in China through business. He's very well linked, and he became my business development manager and wanted me to, on 2 tennis courts, wanted me to go public. So I thought that was interesting, but he's quite serious. And the structure and the way they do business in China, I've found in the last 15 years, is certainly much different to what I understood. However, I think in particular, since we met in April, this coronavirus has just got worse. And so I listened to the ABC radio at night because I'm locked in a room for a few weeks, or 2 months actually. And I was listening to the Australia All Over, Macca's Australia Over on the Sunday that you're probably aware of, and it made me think a lot of the stuff that we're hearing, a lot of the business interactions that we're getting, sometimes it's good luck rather than good management, and the networking, if you're lucky enough to be in the right circles, you talk to the right people. So what I'm doing is I spoke to my contact in Shanghai just recently, and I said, look, I've actually introduced quite a few businesses over the years. I said, look, mate, I said, we obviously have a trust base. We get on very well. He's extremely connected. He's just specifically with the esports a fair bit now, but he's linked with the government and the other departments. Esports through Yuzu, you could look it up. His name's Wuhao, Roderick. Before I wasn't so quick to be giving his name because I just thought, contacts, you don't do that. And I said, what's the secret? If you're the contact, then let's link it. If there's people that want to get the right linking, why don't we make it really simple? Yeah. So I'm going to, he's going to do a video next to me, and we're going to change our website to say, because that's what I've been trying to do. I think a lot of the Australians, they like to mates and linking and help each other as much as we can. I think generally that's what it used to be when I was there 20 years ago. It's changed a bit, I think, from some of the young guys, but I'd love to link what we can with the interactions through the base we've got here. And I think through sports, it's a fantastic platform to link business.
Now, Chris,
So,
Chris,
yeah.
You mentioned that the special announcement is a link between Shanghai, Singapore, and Sydney, and opening up that door for finance. You're in the hub, and sport, and all those things.
For sure. Yeah,
and that sounds really exciting.
Yeah, I think the past 15 years, well, Roderick went back to Shanghai in 2007. And I since realized that since I've been going over, I went for a slightly different reason. I was invited by the education system with another guy that was a 3-time world champion to come and present the simple way that I did coaching. They liked it. They wanted to try and multiply it and link it with all their infrastructures. I got scared and came back to Singapore because I needed to try and catch my breath. So I'm still looking at doing that, and I think it can be very beneficial with all the different types of businesses, and with the IT in particular. Yeah. I think it'd be great to be able to link in a proper manner the businesses. And of course, all the skepticism with China and other countries as well. I suppose, I don't know, I'm from the country. I suppose I just sort of take it as I hear it, but I don't make up, I make my mind up through my own experiences. From what I've seen, I haven't seen a lot of that stuff that I hear about, the negative stuff, so much. So I suppose I'd like to try and get it out. Build that connection. Yeah, build the connection, but get the real facts and just see what's real and what's not. Now, Chris, we are on a Google Meet, and we might only have a minute. Yeah. We might continue on, but for everyone else, Chris has opened his centre to us in Singapore. And Chris, if you're in Sydney, you come here and we share business and we link. For sure. Yeah.
And everyone, that's been an excellent night. We've got contacts for everyone who's presented and their slideshows. We might cut out in a minute because we've used Google Meet, the free thing, but let's open it up for those people who would like to ask questions. And if you had a question of just ask the person or of anyone who knows the answer, please go for it. So any open questions there for our Riverside business people? And if there's no questions, what we'll be doing is this video will go up on riversidechamber.com.au through Sabrina. So thank you, Sabrina. And you have to also link up your other social media and hashtag Riverside Business and Riverside Chamber. And we try and do those sort of things to help each other. We can help you as well. I remember through YouTube, we've been doing some free 60-second pitches for all our businesses. And if you send that to me, I've been getting that up on YouTube. So just to highlight some of our different services. The other thing is it helps everyone because it's second highest on the algorithm of making it very interesting for people to search it. So very high up if you can do a YouTube little video promotion. Ivan Radovanovic has done one and it was excellent, and it just goes straight onto our YouTube channel. You could also update your LinkedIn profile, and that will help because one of my goals would be it could turn into a job search platform for all local people. So if you would like to do that, that'd be great. Yeah, any other questions there? You are the quietest bunch of business entrepreneurs in the world. And what we'll do is we'll get those internet, we'll get everything up on the web. So we'll have the video if you've got any questions. There's hyperlinks coming, but you're free to talk amongst yourselves. I know I'll be ringing some people to follow up some of those ideas tonight. Thank you very much from Riverside Business.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew.
Bye.
Good work, Andrew. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. See you next month.
Now, hybrid next month, so we will meet in person, as Mark said, at Macquarie Uni. And we'll also have a Zoom link up, which is what hybrid means. You'll be talking this way, but also you'll actually be able to taste a lovely cool drink and eat some lovely food, I'm sure.
Well done. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
See you all later. Bye-bye.
Have a good week.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.